It's the holidays, and that means special holiday meals for gathering together with loved ones. Today we're making a festive holiday meal with a light and bright citrus salad, a cozy and flavorful braised pork with polenta, and a gooey and decadent chocolate cake. These recipes can be served together as a single meal or add any of these recipes to your other holiday celebrations. Seasonal flavors at an efficient cost makes for a happy holiday indeed.
Life can be a struggle, but a good meal doesn't have to be. We can make creative, nutritious, and inventive dishes that won't break the bank.
We'll eat well and save money, because that's what we do.
Welcome to Struggle Meals.
We're gonna start off with a winter citrus salad. This is really just a perfect addition to any wintertime meal. It pairs up beautifully. It's light, it's delicious, the flavors are bright. It starts off with some kale. Let me show you how to handle them. I like to break two little pieces like that, and then with loose fingers, pull the leaf off. You can break it like that. So you just build a little assembly line. Kale is in the cruciferous family. It's got a really dense cell structure happening. Kale needs to be cooked. We're gonna do that with salt and like physical massaging. It's gonna break down. It's gonna be easier to digest. So we're gonna hit it with a little bit of salt here. You could do this with some acid, or you could just massage it straight up, and we're like breaking down the cell walls. So I've massaged my kale. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit while I build the rest of the salad. Time is now doing its thing over here. Can't have a citrus salad without citrus. I got some oranges, I got some grapefruits. They're gonna add a ton of brightness to this dish. How can we level up the experience of consuming these citrus? With a technique called supreming. It requires a little bit of work. You just take off the top of the orange here, and you take off the bottom of the orange here. You wanna take off all the zest, and you wanna take off all the pith so that you just see the fruit, okay? And you might have to go around again and just trim it a little bit. There's any extra pith, I can just sort of go like that. So this stuff is super bitter. It's also not texturally pleasing to the tooth. We see these sort of lines here, right? So we'll just come to the side like this, boom, and then we'll come to this side here, and it should just come out like that. This piece is what gets left behind, and this is what we get to keep. Through it, boom, boom. Supreming gives us the explosion of fruit that we're looking for by eliminating all the veiny, pithy, and chewy bits and getting them out of there. You're just left with the nectar of the citrus. So with my non-dominant hand, I can keep pulling back these bits that I'm gonna leave. So what we're left with is this undesirable to the tooth bit of the orange. But this isn't garbage, because you can squeeze some juice out of it. So if you squeeze this into the bowl, you're adding to your salad dressing. Top, bottom. Very nice. Go right into our kale. So now we've got some citrus in addition to the salt breaking down the kale. Very good. Let's do it with the grapefruit. We'll take the top off. See, grapefruit has a lot more pith compared to orange. So you can see the vein to the side of the vein. And this one come in, and there is a gorgeous piece of grapefruit. Squeeze our grapefruit right into our dressing bowl. Grapefruit going in. And we'll do it one more time. Bottom. You can even do it this way. Coming around the side. Let's get half an onion in there. The top, the bottom, through the equator. If you use this hand as a guide, check it out. See how my knife's now perpendicular to the board? And so then I can take this over and I can start working in again this way. And I'm changing the knife angle as I come up. And then here, you just slow down a little bit. Kale is cooking right here via acid, salt osmosis, and massaging. It's a beautiful thing. We're gonna work with some almonds here now. There is no neat way to cut almonds. You don't have to go too crazy. Almonds are going in. We've got most of our salad done now. We've just gotta make a dressing, and then we can finish it with the accoutrement. We're gonna start our dressing with this little bit of grapefruit and orange juice that we got from the center, sort of the discard of the supremed citrus. We're gonna add some olive oil to it. Perfect opportunity to head to the packet drawer and get some free flavor. Mustard, great in salad dressings. Keeps them together. It emulsifies them. We're also gonna add some honey. Sweetness, thick and viscous. Gonna keep everything together. Lemons. It's a citrus salad. Why not throw some lemons in there? 3 types of citrus. That's what's happening here. A little bit of salt. Get in there with a 7500. There are many ways to get a salad dressing to come together, but this works nicely. I've got some butter lettuce here. I waited till the last minute before we add it here because this is a delicate lettuce. Unlike the kale, this shouldn't be sitting in acid and salt and breaking down. So timing matters. This should be pretty much the last step. So I'm just kind of working my way around the core here. Oh, look at this little heart right here. Gorgeous. I really, really like taking lettuce leaves and sort of hand tearing them. It's an opportunity to inspect for any insects or dirt, obviously both of which are a sign of fresh lettuce. Don't want to make these lettuce leaves too small because the whole beauty of these are the fact that they're velvety and their texture is wonderful. We can dress, and we will pour the dressing around the outside of the bowl so that we don't weigh anything down. I'll always reserve a little bit just to make sure the quantities are right. And then with my clean hands, pull from the bottom and bring up to the top. Really, really pretty. This could be a meal on its own. It really could. Here we go. Do it sort of like that. If you thought we were done, you are mistaken because I have an avocado right here. Cut this in, give it a little twist. Okay. So now we can just go like this. Salad's looking pretty good, but we could make it even better by heading over to the herb garden. Parsley, a wonderful wintertime herb. It sort of just cuts through any richness. Just get whole leaf parsley right on there. Little black pepper. That is a gorgeous citrus wintertime salad. It's $1.60 a serving. Let's dig in. Man, this is an essential dish if you're really trying to create like a complete flavor and color profile, which I think we should be doing. You know, because we massaged that kale, it allowed it to break down and now it has a similar texture to the butter lettuce. It's ideal. And then you hit the citrus. Pop, pop, beautiful flavors. This is a fresh and bright salad, but it is so clearly a wintertime salad. You'll know what I mean when you make it, which is what you should be doing right about now. Stay tuned for the rest of the holiday menu. We're gonna make poached pears with mulled wine. My nonno Frank used to make these whenever he closed out an elegant family dinner. They're so easy to make. It's almost a set it and forget it situation. And you get a dessert and a beverage for the price of one. It is a win-win. Let me show you how to do it. If you wanna make this, you will need pears, a bottle of red wine that costs less than $8, cinnamon sticks, cloves, sugar, peel of orange, water, and some ice cream. First, peel the pears. Cut a little bit off the bottom so you can create a stable base. Add the pears to the pot with the wine, sugar, and all the aromatics. Use an inexpensive wine because you're adding flavor and sugar to it anyway. You can add a little water if you need to. You want to make sure you have about an inch of the pear sticking out of the top. If you cover them anymore, they're gonna float. Set the heat to high and bring it to a simmer. Then turn the heat to low, cover it, and set a timer for 45 minutes. The spices will infuse the wine with warming holiday flavors, and the wine's gonna saturate those pears with all those fruity flavors as they poach. Removing the pears can be tricky. Use a spatula underneath and a pair of tongs to get a grip. You can serve them with whipped cream, ice cream, creme fraiche, mascarpone, or just some balsamic vinegar. Pour yourself a glass of the mulled wine and enjoy. We're gonna make milk braised pork. The Italians call it maiale al latte, which literally means pork with milk. It's perfect for holiday time. It's melt in your mouth good, and it's so easy to make. So we're gonna start with pork butt, which ironically comes from the shoulder. Pork butt has a ton of fat on it, and it's like tough fat. So you've got to braise this meat. That's gonna melt it and make it absolutely amazing. Dutch oven, warm. We're gonna hit it with salt and pepper. It's a big piece of meat, so you can really go crazy with the salt. I'm a big fan of the kosher salt and sticking with whatever brand you buy the first time so that you can develop sort of muscle memory of how much flavor you're adding right now. We're gonna sear the meat. High smoke point oil, and we're gonna come right in with our meat. Looking for gorgeous brown color. Gorgeous brown color means the sugars in the pork butt are starting to caramelize. It's gonna give us flavor, and we can only do that now, so we have to do it now, so be patient. Let's get some aromatics to put in our braising liquid. Get 3 big lemon strips here. Be really good cutting through the fat. Take the head of garlic and just cut it in half. We need herbs from the herb garden that are gonna complement these rich flavors. The flavors of the deep, dark forest. Sage and thyme. Woody herbs, they're gonna hold up to the pork real nice. Let's add a little spiciness to the packet drawer. Crushed red pepper flakes. These are gonna be so good with that lemon and garlic. Let's check on our pork. Beautiful. Sear all the sides. Let's start throwing everything in. We've got our garlic heads, 2, our lemon peels, our sage, the thyme, our red pepper flakes, milk, our braising liquid. So the pork is gonna braise in the milk. There's lactic acid in the milk, and that's gonna make it extra tender. When the milk boils, the fat and the water in the milk are gonna separate, and they're gonna make cheese curds, and they're gonna be delicious. Once this comes to a simmer on high heat, turn off the heat, put on a really tight-fitting hat. This is gonna go in the oven for about 3 hours at 325 or until it's fork tender. The pork is braising, it's almost finished, so now we're gonna make some polenta. You can think of it as like Italian grits. It's basically the same thing, it's just that the corn is milled a little more finely, so it's really smooth. It's so filling, delicious, creamy, and absorbative of the flavors above. I'm using some chicken broth here because it's gonna add flavor into the polenta. More flavor, more better. So once the liquid starts dancing a little, you're gonna come in with your whisk, and you're just gonna put in some polenta a little bit at a time. This is gonna prevent lumping. If you dump it all at once, lumpy polenta, no good. There's so much liquid to cornmeal ratio that you'd think this is gonna be a soup, but it will not be. Cornmeal absorbs a ton of liquid. So we're looking for something that's gonna ooze out on a plate. Right now, we're a little bit clumpy, right? So we've got to adjust the ratio by adding a little more liquid. If you're stirring with a wooden spoon and it's incredibly hard, you should definitely add some liquid. If you dip that wooden spoon and pull it up and out, and it's all clumpy, and it isn't like velvety looking, then you need more liquid. Hit it with a little bit of salt, nice and creamy. We're gonna turn this to low. I'm gonna let this simmer so the corn cooks completely through. I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm stirring it occasionally. 30 minutes. Half an hour in, give our polenta a try. Nice and smooth. Let's add some flavors to it. We'll kill the heat. We'll come in with some butter. We're gonna come in with some cream. If you've ever made a risotto, it's the same process. We wanna put our dairy at the end with the heat off to help sort of lock in this final texture that we're looking for. Parmigiano Reggiano, the king of cheeses. This is giving us saltiness, creaminess, and a really wonderful base onto which our pork is gonna go. That's why people so often serve it with a delicious braised piece of meat, because it absorbs that flavor. But we have an opportunity right now to make the polenta taste really great. And so that's why we're adding cheese, butter, cream. Our pork's just about done. Let's hop into the oven and grab it. Look at that. Oh, it smells so, so good. So you can see how the fat has separated. It's all sitting at the top. You can see just below that the curds from our milk. Coming in with the polenta. Beauteous. Here's how soft our pork is. Just broke right off. Nice little piece of sage there. Look at this. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Let's get some sauce. Get our little like homemade cheese right on there. Some of the braising liquid. Do we stop here? Absolutely not. We head to the herb garden. We get my favorite wintertime herb, which is parsley. We finish at the top. 1 parsley, 2 parsley, 3 parsley. It looks absolutely beautiful. We've got the polenta on the bottom. It's already starting to absorb all the braising liquid. The pork looks great. It's tender as could be. The aromas are clearly of wintertime, but also of a meal that is complete and delicious. I can't wait to dig in. Oh, and did I mention? It's $1.97 a serving. So this is really affordable and highly luxurious. Come in, get some of that pork. Get a little bit of the polenta. Moist, salty, fatty, delicious. It's delicious, it's rich, but you've also got that zing of the citrus in there. I know there will be silence at your table because this dish is so good. You won't even hear the chewing because the meat is so tender. It's that good. Coming up next, we got a challenge and then dessert. Stay tuned. It's time for a struggle challenge. What do you got for me today? Warming foods seem to gravitate to lots of meat and potatoes stuff. Any ideas for warm, cozy, and filling, but not necessarily carby hibernation food? This is a great question. I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's see what you got in the fridge. Cabbage is certainly hearty. It can definitely be filling, and it ain't carby. I like these little mushrooms. They're very cute. Basically, more mushrooms, scallions, carrots. We want hearty, but we don't really want carby. Let's see what we can find over there to complete the picture. All right, tofu, so many mushrooms. So between the tofu, the mushrooms, and the cabbage, we've got something that's filling. How do we make it hearty and warming? Let's go back. Oh yeah, my gochujang, look at that. There's miso. We're gonna make a broth. We're gonna warm it up with gochujang, Korean hot spicy paste. Basically, we're just gonna have a giant vegetarian stew that's spicy and warm. It's gonna be delicious. Let's get started. We get a pot, cut it in half like this. Thinking sort of chunky, all right? So we don't need finest pieces here at all. Get a nice neutral oil here. Definitely don't want to be doing olive oil if I'm going to be using things like miso and soy and gochujang. It just clouds the flavor clarity, in my personal opinion. Cut off the tips. We'll do big pieces. Garlic, super aromatic. It gets very mellow and warming when you cook garlic slow and low. We're gonna get a pan on naked, pretty high heat. Just try to char some of these mushrooms out a bit. Cabbage. This is very hearty. This is what's gonna bring us home. Let's like shred it up pretty good. We'll saute this down, bring the heat back up a little bit. There's gonna be a lot of water in here now. Doesn't that already look hearty? I think it does. We're gonna cook a little bit of the gochujang into this. Where are we at our broth? Mushrooms, get a little bit of butter now. That looks very pretty. Our cabbage is broken down a little bit. Let's get some liquid in here. Amazing. Let's get a little tofu in there also. I'm bringing my mushroom pan back out. This is chili crisp. This is one of my favorite things. Oh, baby. I'm putting the miso paste at the end here because I really just want to add flavor. I don't really want to cook it down. It's a nice way to finish a dish. Cabbage, gochujang, vegetable stew here. A little nestle of mushrooms right on the side. Chili crisp tofu right here. Scallions. This is inspired by a Korean stew. It's not authentic by any means. I used what I had in my kitchen. I encourage you to do the same. I think it's stunning. I have to rate it a 9. As for the flavor, we're about to find out. We'll get these crazy guys in a little bit of broth. Here we go. It is absolutely warming, both from the heat temperature of the broth and cabbage and from the spice of the gochujang and chili crisp. So we hit the mark, and I give it a 9 on flavor. That's an 18. That is a high quality, super crushed struggle challenge. Thank you very much for this. Go make this. Sticky peppermint chocolate cake, that's what we're about to do, and we're gonna put in extra effort by doing more steps than usual, but it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna impress everyone in the family. We're gonna start with dates. They are pitted. I've got some hot water here, and basically what we're gonna do is soften our dates even further. It's gonna give us moisture, it's gonna give us sweetness, it's gonna be great. Bowl number 2, room temperature butter. We're gonna cream butter and sugar together, okay? So it's gotta be room temp, it's absolutely vital. Got some brown sugar, got some granulated sugar. The Struggle Stand Mixer 3000, AKA the human arm. Try to break up the little cubes of butter. We'll use the backside of a wooden spoon a little to try to incorporate it into the sugar. Struggle Whisk 7500. And so now we'll just come like this with our fork here towards the center to continue to macerate the butter. Let's get 2 eggs in there. Once the eggs are in there, it's gonna be a lot easier to bring this together. Dry ingredients. Flour, coming in 2. Baking powder, baking soda, and some salt. Really important that the baking soda and baking powder are mixed throughout the flour. Makes a big difference to the consistency of your final product, truthfully. We come back to our dates. I will now attempt to blitz these with an immersion blender. Butter, sugar, date water. Let's start with a little bit of flour. Sift, sift, sift. Mix, mix, mix. Some date water. We got our flour coming in with our leaveners. Date puree. Ooh, yes. Keep scraping down the sides. Flour that has a very high water content, making more of a lava flowy situation. No big lumps. Let's add some chocolate in there. Can't be a sticky chocolate peppermint cake without chocolate chips. We got a nice pan here. It's got a little parchment in the bottom so things don't stick. And here we go. This is going in the oven, 350 degrees, 35 minutes. While the cake is cooling, we're gonna make a rich and decadent chocolate sauce to pour over top. We get a little flame happening, butter in there, going in with some cream. We're going in with a lot of cream. Sugar, cocoa powder. Even once it's all mixed in, you've gotta bring this up to a simmer because the chocolate chips need to melt. Start to see some bubbles around the edges. You can kill the heat. Chocolate chips. There's enough heat already in this chocolate sauce to melt the chips all the way through. The cake is cooled slightly, but it's still warm. Come in with a skewer. We're gonna poke this 1,000,000 times. So when we pour the chocolate sauce over top, it is able to seep inside of our cake, giving us rich chocolate flavor throughout. The cake's gonna get super moist and gooey. Are we done? Absolutely not. It's time to make a meringue topping. So meringue is whipped egg whites with a bunch of sugar. It comes out absolutely glorious. A little bit of water here. We're gonna use a double boiler. Eggs, cream of tartar. This is gonna keep those egg white peaks beautiful. Gonna add a little bit of sugar at a time. Well, those little granules, they're gonna agitate the egg whites as we whip it, and it's gonna really help incorporating air. We can take this off the heat here. Keep rotating the bowl as you go back and forth with the whisk so that you make sure everything gets air incorporated into it. Ah! Let's add in a little bit of salt, peppermint flavor. Peppermint makes me feel like it's holiday time. Peppermint meringue is done. Let's assemble this. Get a little more sauce on top. Meringue coming on. This is gonna be delicious. It looks like the holidays. It smells like the holidays. It's probably gonna taste like the holidays. And it's only 95 cents a serving, which is not a lot of money to feel all those feels. I'm digging in. It's pepperminty, it's chocolatey, it's moist. It's so delicious. And yeah, it takes some effort to make, but it's the perfect way to end a holiday dinner. That's what it's all about. We had the perfect menu for when everyone comes to your house today. A salad, a main, and a dessert. 1, 2, 3 in a line. This is a great way to spend an evening. Or you could parse out each one of these dishes and add it to other holiday celebrations because they each work on their own or in addendum to other dishes. They're luxurious, they're delicious, they're easy to make. Your family's gonna love them. Frankie, do you have any creamy soup recipes that have no dairy in them, preferably with no alternative milks either? I'm gonna suggest coconut milk. So coconut milk and coconut cream give you that luxurious, heavy cream mouthfeel that you're looking for. If you don't wanna use the coconut milk, you could do potatoes, and you can use an immersion blender. It's hard to mimic cream without cream, unless you're using coconut milk.